Well, Happy New Year, everybody. This is exciting. We are in 2025 and beginning of the year, and it's really time to get going and set ourselves up for lots of success. We're really excited today to have one of our rock star agents, Chris Nguyen. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome, Chris. You are a rock star, and we cannot wait to learn so much from you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
And my co-host Santiago Guerin, and he does an amazing job of supporting our agents at Pemberley and also to work on our transactions to make sure that our customers are satisfied and everything is done the way it needs to be.
Yep, exactly. Thank you so much for having me too, Roxanne. I'm glad to be here, especially with Chris, who's such a good agent. So let's
Thank
get it.
you.
Amazing. That's right.
Yep.
So, Chris, let's talk about your journey up to this point. How long have you been in business? How did you get into the business? What brought you into real estate? And all of that good stuff. Where is your background? Mm, So,
So originally, I come from a military background. I was in the military. How I got into the business was actually I was never meant to. I never had the intention to like go get my license. I was actually going to college, and then I got recruited by another agent that owned a brokerage and everything else. So was also a veteran, and he suggested I get into real estate. And I didn't think real estate was, at first first suggestion because I never really was in sales. I was trying to get my finance degree, and then end up just working out. I've been here in the industry for almost 6 years now, and so getting close to a decade. Feeling older and older by the
you
year.
definitely are on the other side. They say 5 years is the threshold. Once you're past that 5 year period, you're definitely an agent that's going to remain in the business.
But I didn't even know that. But it's definitely been a huge journey from 5 years from now. It's just it's literally just starting like a whole business. But although people have the conception that you're working for a company, it is a really independent job, and you're structuring everything as a business. You handle all your clientele, your finance, the way you spend your money. Nobody's really telling you other than you're getting a lot of advice. But being an agent is like really just running your own business.
It really is. You are an entrepreneur if you're running your own business. Does not matter if you're with a brokerage or running a brokerage. You are an entrepreneur regardless.
100%.
So personal branding. Talk to us about what you see as personal branding. How do you promote yourself and what's your idea of personal branding?
So I think personal branding in general as an agent is going to be like the main thing you have to focus of really. So personal branding to me is really niche. It's just niching down. And then when you niche down, you want to put your basically a brand around that niche. For example, is since I was military, I work with a lot of military clients. So a very personal branding I have is going to be relocation specialist, helping people like not just like moving from North Carolina to California or helping them from California to North Carolina, helping them relocate and everything, and just learn everything about the VA home loan. Now, not everybody, and it really comes to personal branding for me. To for If I had to tell to like another agent, it's gonna be like it's a question that you cannot somebody else cannot answer for you. You have to really answer for yourself. Like, what do you want to do around your prospecting? Because you can be a personal branding of like an open house expert um, or a for sale by owner or probate expert or divorce expert. who is like, for example, what is that one lawyer that's he's everywhere. He's one of the youngest lawyers in California.
Uh,
King,
are you talking about Attorney King?
Attorney King. You know, he's personal brand is not his brand is also gold. So everybody, even though like I know, like I know what he looks like and everything else, but he has that personal brand with gold everywhere, Attorney King everywhere, and everything else. That's kind of what you want as an agent. So, like, if you were to be like in a divorce field and everything else, maybe put color schemes to make it to help for people to remember and all that, and just build a brand around that. Now, there's a guy in Point Loma. Um, I forgot what his name, but I still remember what he looks like. He wears a Patriot hat, like a little Uncle Sam hat. And then
Robert. Yes,
exactly, you
I
know
don't know
the
exactly, but I know who you were talking about, and the first name is Robert. Yeah.
little things like that is just to capture people's eyes to make sure like, oh, I know who that is and all that. But you can't really do a personal brand without having a niche down. His niche is going to be only in Point Loma, location wise can be it. And you know, and people experts of Santee or people experts in Temecula or that, or you can go for an expert of probates, and that's really what the question. If you like were to, and it's very important because once you focus on one thing, niche down to one thing, you're not going to be jumping around to every like prospecting of like, okay, I want to be expert in probates, I want to be expert in for sale by owner, and then because every single time you're trying to niche down to something, you need to learn a new skill set of how to work around that, and that's what like I think what personal branding should be.
Now let me ask you this: if I am thinking of developing my real estate business, I'm thinking of pillars. And I'm thinking basically pillars, kind of like how a building is held by pillars, how a chair is held by pillars, how a table is held by pillars. And I'm thinking you need to have four legs to everything that's stable and lasts for a long time. And so if I'm thinking of four pillars, then I'm thinking of four ways to market the
Right,
business.
right.
How does that work with what you're talking about in terms of niching down?
So also so picking your pillars is definitely going to be your first step and everything else. I think location wise is also very important as well. Um, it's branding is like it's very weird because you can pick a brand a branding around anything and all that, but just sticking to like a subject like I would say pick for three steps is going to be pick a pillar, pick a location, and pick like a niche, meaning like if it was automotives or it was if you wanted to like for example, I do jiu-jitsu, you know, you can be the expert brand around the martial arts gym, like be the a servant to the martial arts gym and be the guy, the realtor that also does martial arts. I do jiu-jitsu, but I brand around a lot of MMA gyms of going to the establishment and being like, hey, I do jiu-jitsu, but I also do real estate and everything else, or give cookouts for the gyms and everything else. It's really just picking like a more example. It's really picking a community. I would say like branding would be picking a community to establish yourself around it and all
Mhm.
that. And you know, it's very branding is a little bit hard because you know it could be anything. Like if you want it to be like the luxury market, but I really think of branding is just being with the community and just being well known into that community.
Yeah.
And you can do any marketing scheme. It can be funny, it can be serious, and everything else. So that's what I really think about what branding is.
I also have noticed that you do a great job of putting your arms around newer agents and pull them up, give them a lot of support, give them a lot of guidance, and talk to us about that. I think I'm looking at that as more of a passion, but what? How do you see that? Um, and I don't know if that's part of your business plan or not, but talk to us about that.
I don't know. So like in the military background, it's always installed to us of really helping out the newer generation, and then just really mentoring them. The thing that really frustrates me with agents is I just feel like they have not the proper not because of more of the brokerage fault, brokerage's fault. It's just because how the industry is built. Is they just don't have the proper guidance, and it takes really a lot to close your first transaction, also be a good realtor. And the biggest thing that it really sets a person from closing a deal in 1 month of the first being licensed of the first month to 9 months is just having guidance and all that. And it just really frustrated me is looking at an agent's really brand new because when I first started off, it took me 4 months, a little bit like in the average of closing the deals, but I was very like um depressed in a way because and I could just feel that by looking at other agents because they're putting their heart and soul, but they just are not having the guidance to close a transaction and all that. A lot of new agents they don't know this. They think this. They think that this is the way that they need to learn to figure everything out and then ask the questions. But the culture doesn't have to be like that, you know. Not because it's like a money thing or anything. Just seeing other people win and just seeing them close deals is just really awesome to me as well.
It's true. Um, how do you approach your day-to-day uh, schedule?
So every morning, Monday to Friday, this is probably the biggest thing that you should do is to prospect. Um, what are you doing around? It goes back to like, what are you doing around prospecting your pillars? So 9 to 12, so that's 3 hours. 3 hours is always going to be prospecting and everything else. So I prospect in the
Monday
morning,
through Friday?
Monday through Friday, and then even Saturday. Saturday you're holding open houses, and that's an agent that's doing like been in for 5 years. So you should probably be prospecting a lot more um, during your newer years and everything else. But 9 to 12, you're prospecting, and then around 12 to 1, I'm taking like a lunch break for an hour. Maybe just chill out. You know, it takes a lot when you're prospecting, getting rejected a lot and everything, or just reaching out to people. One to two is going to be your administration work, catching up at anything that you have to do with like transactions or like working on your business card or just working on any administration stuff. Now 2 to 5 is going to be either it's a hybrid. Either if you're not on an appointment, then you're back onto prospecting. If you're not prospecting, you're on an appointment. So there's
Mhm.
no in between and all that. So a lot of people are so wrapped around of working on like their business cards and everything else and just a lot of administration work, but they have no clients. And they ask why they're not thriving because they're thinking it backwards. You need to have clients first before you can um, have a business. And I always say this to newer agents is just think of it as if you're a baker, right? And you have an average cupcake. Like your cupcakes is average. It tastes good, it's all right, and everything else. But you have 100 people walk into your shop,
Mhm.
buying like cupcakes and everything else. Now, let's say you have the world's best cupcakes, but you have no clients walk into the shop. You're just a person that has the world's best cupcakes, and that's not how you run a business. So
Yeah.
that's what. I think it's a really just like trying to obtain clients first before working on your business.
I totally agree with you because without if you don't have any if you don't have any business, it doesn't matter if you are the best. You still have no business. So
Yeah, and I have a question here for Chris here. I know he was talking about what are some like good examples on like going into niches and stuff like that. But like kind of more on you, what do you do to build your own personal brand like in your day to day? Like I know you explained about going to these gyms and telling them, hey, I'm a realtor also, stuff like that. What are some things that you could do more like daily or something that you could do to like push to that,
So
more?
my personal brand is all military and veterans and everything else. My Instagram handle is PCS with Chris. With PCS is permanent change of duty station. People that change it from one duty station to another. Now, military, if you guys don't know this, is the military they have to change duty station every 4 years. So whether they want to buy or sell and everything else. And for me, I really just want to be really in touch with the community, not just because of to be all over real estate like during Thanksgiving. I want to veterans for Thanksgiving. They have nowhere to go. Active duty for Thanksgiving during that time. They have nowhere to go. Because all their families are back in Alabama, New York, North Carolina, so they have to be here by themselves and everything else. So just getting everybody to just like come together as a community. Another thing is doing some seminars, teaching about the VA home loan, is letting them know about like the benefits. I had clients have been in the active duty for 18 years and never purchased a home, and it's not because their financial situation or anything. It's just never nobody taught them about the VA home loan. It's usually the people that use the VA home loan is take the step to do it, but a lot of people sometimes are not a risk to want to go and learn about it. So that's why I'm here, is just to push out the information and let them be the decision maker.
it's really interesting. It's almost shocking to think that way. I was actually talking to uh, a Marine, a retired Marine, who was in a pretty serious health crisis situation, and he was not going to the doctor because he had no idea that he had health coverage.
Wow, wow.
And so you're basically speaking to the same thing about home ownership, and the fact that some military service members are don't understand or have no idea of the benefits that they have, that they can purchase homes.
Prime example is all three of my last transactions, first time home buyers. A lot of my transactions are first time home buyers, and a lot of them, I ask them like, okay, have you ever done this? And they like are very clueless about, which is all right because they're no difference from a first time home buyers from anything else. But the difference from the VA home loan to them is a 0% down, and that takes a big difference from a regular home because the to even qualify for a home, a person needs at least 3 to 20% down, depending if it's conventional or FHA. Most of the time, if they're a first-time home buyer, they're going to use FHA, which is 3.5% down. But for us, as a VA veteran, a VA home loan is 0% down. So you're putting no risk into the home other than your inspection fees or closing costs. And all of that can be negotiated. Your clients can literally walk into a house, zero out of pocket, and they get all the benefits of appreciation, purchase, putting their BH into the home and buying down the principal, the principal of the home and everything else. So that it's just an incredible benefit that the military has, and then it's just I feel like a lot of people don't have access to it, understand it.
Talk to us about the PCS program because I've been selling real estate for now 25 years, And I don't think for the first 20 years of my career, I understood the rules behind the PCS.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that and, how that could basically have a lot of doors open to realtors that choose to work with the military.
Well, the reason why it's such a big it's not a niche that like it's a big niche in the San Diego community. A lot of realtors like to do work with the military program, military. So PCS stands for Permanent Change of Duty Station. Every 4 years, so every military person are on a 4-year contract. But just think of a permanent change of duty station because once they get here, that's their duty station for the next 4 years.
Hmm.
And that means they need to leave to another duty station, and then if they end up re-enlisting to another one, so that's a lot. It takes a lot of toll on somebody of changing like one home to another home and all that. But let's say they were stationed in North Carolina or Virginia, and they're coming here to California. They don't know the area. They don't know San Diego and everything. They don't know where, like, if they want to be closer to base, if they want to live farther, 45 minutes, and everything else. And that's why you need to be the expert into that field to see, like, asking those questions, like, how far do you want to move from base? How many bedrooms do you want? What's very important to you? Do you want a pool and everything else? So the program is more just them changing from one location to another location. Now, a lot of people don't understand this because I get the question all the time, like, is my house ever going to sell, or is it going to stay on the market, and we're going to have a hard time buying a place and everything else. San Diego has like 5 duty stations here. So no matter what, people are constantly every 4 years. You got to remember that every 4 years, people are moving in, but also people are moving out. So you got Coronado, you got 32nd Street, you got MCRD, you got Miramar, you got Pendleton, all major bases here in California, and their contracts of 4 years, constantly moving in and moving out of San Diego.
In San Diego. Okay, and you are big on social media, always active on social media. I admire all the posts and all the announcements that you make. Why?
Well, to be honest, not have I seen the successful agents become successful without social media? I've seen them. It's very rare. But to me, honestly, if you're not using social media nowadays, um, you're just very incompetent. It sounds a little bit rude, but like you're basically giving up a tool of free advertisement. Because you got to think of one thing: of Facebook. Facebook is a two-way street. Because once you add somebody on Facebook and you post about what is social media about, anyways? It's just connecting and an announcement, right? There's no difference from announcement on a TV, but the difference from a TV and social media is TV. You have to pay for that.
Mm.
On Facebook, you just announced it. You just had a baby. That's free. You're like, that's free. Everybody knows that you just have a baby. There's no difference when you post about your new upcoming listing, your new your new your new closings or everything else. And if I have around 3,000 friends. So I've just told the 3,000 people that I just had a new listing, and you never know if that new friend online can message you and want to purchase the home. Now you have
Yeah.
more clients and everything else, and that's what I think of social media is just free advertisement. And
I
if
totally
you instead of thinking of it connecting with somebody and like interacting, think of free advertisement because you got to think like you're here to think of business like a business owner, not a consumer. You're here to be like a business owner, so you got to use all your tools and assets to help drive your business.
All right. Last thoughts, Chris. Why Pemberley?
Well, first of all, I was I was been like I said, I've been in the industry for 5 years and everything else. I've known you since I was actually first license. I think I submitted my first offer with you. I don't know if you knew that. I submitted my first
I did
offer with you. Yeah, you were the first offer I ever submitted and all that. And right after you were recruiting me, and I told them I was in a pretty happy place and everything else. But then it was around like two year mark, markets changed and everything else, and I wasn't in the best position of my career. And you just called me at a time of when I kind of needed a long mentor and everything else. So you've been in the industry for 30 years. Um, why I stuck with Primly for so long, because I think it's coming for 3 years, is just your support. Your support is and your guidance to actually run a business is more important than these other brokerages. Because I know a lot of brokerages, they want to give you leads and everything else, but trust me, leads, it's a seasonal thing. Leads are going to be up and downs. When you're not getting leads, you're learning how to run your business, and then you're going to be blaming the brokerage. So that's never a brokerage, in my opinion, you want to join. Now, Pimberly wise, you're teaching them how to really establish how to run a business and how to be a good agent and long term to really be like a 30-year agent, just like yourself. So I'm here. It's just more of the teaching us how to build our own business and also giving us constant guidance.
Well, hey, I can't deny that's all true. So thank you. We are grateful to actually have you and also your guidance because you are a machine, and it really is inspiring to see how you have the focus, how you have the drive, how you have the discipline, and you set a goal and you actually get there and exceed that goal every single time. And I've seen this time and time again. It's not a one time thing, it's time and time again. If Chris sets his mind to something, then you know that it's going to get done.
Absolutely. Other than me going to vacation last year.
Well, and vacation, I love that vacation because not only you visited amazing places and build wonderful memories for yourself and for us watching you on social media, but also you showed that it's not just all about business, but there's also a personal side to your life, and you know how to enjoy life. So kudos for doing both together.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
And by the way, Nestor is saying hello, and he's saying two thumbs up for doing such a great job.
Tell Nestor, one of my favorite guys at the brokerage. Great to see you, Nestor.
All right. Any final thoughts that do you guys have to share before we say goodbye to our audience?
Nope. Thank you everyone for that
Thank you,
joining.
guys.
That's gonna see later on. That's watching now later. Thank you for joining us, and I mean I'm glad that we had Chris here. It's a great example for a lot of agents. So
Thank you,
Absolutely.
guys.
Chris, thank you so much. And if you are trying to reach him, there's his phone number. You can also reach him on his email or on his Instagram account, PCS with Chris. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that as we are getting these new interviews, you can be notified and you can hop on and be with us and as we're talking to amazing agents such as Chris. Thank you so much for joining us, and you make it a great day. And if you are planning on contacting me or Pemberley, there's the information down at the bottom. And again, we appreciate you watching us and your comments and of course your subscriptions. Make it a great day.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Bye.